Welcome back to Silverstone for the second race of the weekend here in the GB4 Championship. John Jackson with Piers Pryor alongside me here. We're here at the assembly area. Cars going around. We've had something going on the track there. Quite distracting actually when a Lotus 7 hits another Lotus 7 at quite high speed. But anyway, we'll digress. Linus Grandforce is on pole position with Fortec for this second race of the weekend. And you know, he's shown great pace throughout testing and in qualifying and in the race yesterday.
Yeah, the pace of Linus Grandforce has been envied by the rest of the grid, but Lucas Blakely, especially in race one, was right there pushing him all the way. So clearly KMR found something a little bit extra just to push up to the back of Grandforce, but not enough so far to overcome him.
Now we'll see the highlights from the race in just a second, but Lucas has been telling me all week that Linus is far into the distance and he's not going to be able to keep up with him. But when he did keep up with him, is that Lucas maybe playing down his chances because a little bit of self-deprecation, or was he actually genuinely, do you think, watching testing, thinking I can't get close?
I don't know actually. It's interesting because some drivers are like, oh, I can't catch, and then that's when they are at their best. But I genuinely think that KMR thought that they maybe didn't quite have the pace of the Forte in the hands of Grandforce, and they just found a little bit extra with a small tweak on the setup, maybe tyre pressures, and probably Lucas finding some pace in himself as well. Of course, let's not forget Lucas only joined us for the first time this season. Last time out at Snetterton, back again. Of course, he raced with us once or twice last year as well, but a long time out of the car. So I'm sure every session he's finding a little bit extra, and who knows, that would make good watching for us if he finds another 10th or so, because that means that they'll be literally right together.
Well, and of course, if he gets a better start than Linus, then it's going to change everything. Look, we've spoiled the surprise already of what happened yesterday, but if you didn't catch it, here are the highlights of race one from Silverstone here in the GB4 Championship this weekend.
1 second. Highlights from round 13 of the GB4 Championship, partnered by the BRDC. We'd be heading down to the first corner. There was already a stall from Finn Harrison on the grid, unable to get going. It was Linus Grandforce, though, leading at the first corner, as Lucas Blakely will be hanging on to second position. Callum Baxter, running in third, was attacking Lucas Blakely on the race down into Magnus Beckers and Chapel. Harry Burgoyne Jr., though, was working his way up the field as he'd sneak his way past into fourth position, as Callum Baxter was just dropping back ever so slightly. Alicia Palmovsky was keeping her eyes on moving forward in the race and trying to catch up with the top two. Meanwhile, Harry Burgoyne Jr., down in fourth position, was looking to lose the championship lead. Chloe Grant and Megan Bruce were battling out down towards the rear of the field, with Bruce with the inside line going into Luffield. She'd take over the position and move her way up inside the top 10. Meanwhile, as there was Harry Burgoyne Jr. down in that fourth position, still defending from Callum Baxter, and doing an excellent job in doing so. Was really struggling with the pressure that was being put on by the Graham Brunton racing car, but was dealing with it brilliantly as he was defending all the way down towards Abbey. Meanwhile, a little bit further down the order, it was Finn Harrison working his way back up after the stall at the rear of the grid as he was moving his way up position by position, just a bit slowly. Harry Burgoyne Jr. once again defending from Callum Baxter, who'd looked to the outside coming down into the Vale chicane, trying to go for the up and under once more into club, but not taking too many risks in trying to pass Harry Burgoyne Jr., who at this point was the championship leader. He'd obviously be relinquishing that one to Linus Grandforce, who was our race leader. Once again, Baxter was to the outside going down into Stowe. Could there be any more positions lost for him? At the moment, the answer was no. At the front of the field, though, it was an excellent victory from Linus Grandforce. He would take yet another one on the season, a fifth victory ahead of Lucas Blakely and Alicia Palmovsky. A brilliant drive from the Swede.
Well, thank you very much, Lewis McGlade there with the highlights, and an exciting first race. GB4 is always exciting. We saw some exciting stuff last time at Snetterton. Exciting first race here at Silverstone. More of the same, hopefully, on the way. Great drive from Linus there, and extending his championship lead. And I think we should hear what he said straight after the race. Linus, congratulations. You've won 5 races now this season after a little bit of a gap without a race win. How do you feel?
Yeah, it feels good. Yeah, it was fast, so I was just behind him all the time. So if I did a mistake, he was going to, try to overtake. But I didn't did that much of a mistake this race. So yeah, it was good.
Has your brother given you any advice around here? We enjoyed watching him race here.
What can you say?
Has Joel given you any advice here for this track?
Yeah, well, we looked at his video when he was doing GP3, of course, and he's also been fast there, so I think it's the Swedish thing to be fast there as well.
Absolutely is. You've got now the championship leader. How do you feel about that with only sort of 3 different, well, including this round, we've got Doddington and Brands Hatch coming up. It's a good place for you to be at this part of the season.
Yeah, well, it feels good, of course. We've been fast on Donington as well, and we've never been to Brands Hatch. We don't know how fast we are there, but we know for sure that we're fast here and at Donington, so yeah.
Excellent stuff. Well, we'll find out how fast you are a little bit later in the year. Linus, congratulations. Linus Granfors speaking with myself yesterday after that race win. A very cool guy, walking around with jeans with sliders on. We noticed earlier, like, doesn't even need shoes. That's how cool he is. Also, his brother Joel, who you might remember from GB3. We spoke to him on the broadcast yesterday, giving him a few tips, a bit of coaching, I believe.
Yeah, he's coaching Linus and also I think helping out with the Fortec Motorsport team in general. Of course, Linus' brother, Joel, who was with us in 2022 in GB3 with Fortec, same team. And has gone on to bigger, amazing things in America, and has got a bit of time in his hands, so good for him to help out.
But you talk about driver coaching, this takes me on perfectly to Lucas Blakely, obviously, driving for KMR Sport. KMR Sport were the Drivers' Championship last year with Tom Mills. And I think you should go and speak to Tom Mills right now, Piers.
Why don't I do that? Why don't we grab a word with GB4 champion Tom Mills from last season as the cars come in. Tom, a really impressive introduction to the championship once again from Lucas. Came in at Snetton, right on the pace, same again this weekend.
Yeah, he's been really impressive. He just picks it up so well. He analyses absolutely everything, and it's been a joy to work with him. At the minute, this is his last day in the car. He's not quite got the budget for the next one. A bit like Brandon dropping out earlier in the year, but yeah, he's trying as hard as he can on the track and off the track, and it's showing with his results.
Yeah, brilliant. And what do you reckon he can do in this one? Is he going for the win?
He's going to go for it. It depends off the start. We saw yesterday he probably had a little bit more pace than Linus later in the race, but it's still even hard to overtake here. Linus has got the new tyres today, and we used ours yesterday, so I'd say Linus might have more pace.
Okay, well, that's interesting to know. Thanks very much, Tom. It's good to chat to you, and we're going to make our way backwards this way.
Let's quickly have a word with another face I've seen that went over from GB4, Liam McNeely here.
You can talk to Liam.
With Brandon Templeton. Let's run around very, very quickly. Liam, we just teed you up. Nice to see you back here. What is it you're doing over in the States? Just fill everyone in.
Yeah, so this year I'm racing USF Juniors, and yeah, it's going really well. So it's currently sitting second in points, so yeah, all to play for.
How does it compare to the car you were driving last year in the GB4 Championship?
Very similar. Obviously, it's not got a turbo, so the power response is a little bit different, but very similar car, just got a halo and stuff. So yeah, all good.
Have you been doing a bit of coaching maybe with the team?
Yeah, I'm just helping out this weekend, and Brandon's doing really well. Megan's improving a lot, so yeah, all good.
Obviously your dad runs the team. Has he been calm? Has he been chilled? Like last time, I remember last year at Donington Park there was a moment where you had a bit of an off and he was there on his electric scooter whizzing around the track very quickly to just check you're okay. I think everything was fine, but how's he feeling?
Yeah, he's stressed like normal, so he's all right this weekend. Everything's going to plan so far.
Excellent. Well, while things change for you and you're racing over in the States, nothing changes for your dad. Still the same old guy. Liam, thank you very much.
Exactly. Thank you.
Liam McNeely there. Speaking about his dad, Paul McNeely, obviously team boss at Fox Motorsports. I don't know if you heard that, but he was basically saying his dad's just as stressed as usual.
Fair enough. Clearly he's not a very relaxed man.
Let's talk about Alicia Palmowski just on the left here. A very easy car for you to look out to if this is your first GB4 race, the number 21 Elite Motorsports car. Alicia showing incredible maturity actually. When you speak to Alicia, she speaks very well. She speaks like someone with more years than she has at the age of 17, and she's really shown that consistency is her thing.
Absolutely. I mean, she does speak very, very well on camera, which is a great asset if she wants to become a professional racing driver, which is her goal. And the speed is matching, which is great to see. And consistent results this season, not too many DNFs, which is keeping her in the championship fight.
Excellent stuff. Well, she drives for Elite Motorsports alongside Finn Harrison, who Naomi caught up with earlier.
So Finn, obviously a difficult start for you, but you made up a good few places afterwards. How was that for you?
Yeah, I think something happened with the start with the clutch. I think overheated or something. We'll figure it out when we come out of Parc Fermé, and it was just fighting back to try and claim all the positions that I lost. We definitely had the pace, and we made moves at just time.
And how was it trying to maybe go up through the back of the grid rather than maybe fighting at the front or the middle?
It was definitely hard. I had to really concentrate on trying to get back to where I started and be as consistent as I can. It's one of those things. It happens, but it's happening too much now. It happened at Donington, it's now happened here. So yeah, we'll figure it out.
And what are you hoping for tomorrow? Obviously, maybe a difficult few weekends for you at the moment.
Yeah, we're struggling this weekend as we were at Snet. We're just gonna focus on our plan, get the strategy right. Next start, hopefully be better for tomorrow's Sunday morning race, and then reverse good race, hopefully. Again, I think we're starting P4 or something for that, with where we qualified, but certainly not where we should be considering the pace that we had at the start of the year.
Thank you very much, Finn.
That's fine.
Thank you.
That's Finn Harrison from Elite Motorsport speaking with Naomi earlier. Big shout out to Naomi for getting these interviews running around the paddock so we don't have to, which is quite nice. You know what I mean. So we need to talk about another driver, right? And if you watched last time out at Silverstone, we saw some amazing onboard footage. Now, I'm absolutely loving Dan Hickey's social media. I don't know what the camera looks like. I've never actually seen it. It looks like it's, you know, like when you watch F1 and you see the sort of camera helmet view, except Dan Hickey has managed to do better than, you know, the leading motorsport championship in the world and get a much clearer picture, because some of the footage that he posts on his social media of him in the car, like his view, and you know, even he did a sort of his pre-race preparations, like a view you've never seen before, and absolutely fascinating. As a driver, is that representative of what you see?
You say it's a view you've never seen before. I've seen it. You haven't, but it's.
Mate, I wouldn't fit in the car.
It is a really, really good view, of course. Somehow he gets the camera either right next to or between his eyes, and it's a perfect view. And it also gives a scale to the speed and noise as well, which I really quite enjoy, because quite a lot of when you're driving these cars is a bit of a sensory overload, because the wind noise, the engine, of course, and you have to actually drive the thing, and you get a sense of that because it's through the driver's eye.
Well, this is the thing, right? So I was here a few weeks ago for the British Grand Prix, and you know, I was literally sitting over there in the background, and I was thinking, but people were cheering, and you know, when you go to something where there is a huge crowd, and obviously you've got a nice crowd here with the grandstand behind us, but when you have a huge crowd, I'm talking hundreds of thousands of people, you know, there's such a noise there, and you know, people are individually waving at drivers, and I thought, hang on a minute, I'm sure the drivers probably don't see that, but can they hear it? And I asked Oscar Piastri, what can you hear when you're driving? And I think this is probably similar for all different championships. And he said it's mainly wind. You can't actually hear the engine.
No, not a huge amount. And actually, I believe in some of the higher formulas, so Formula 3, Formula 2, Formula 1, they have beeps in their earphones that are connected to the car, which tell you when to change. So you've got the lights on the steering wheel, which help you, but also beeps just to give you make sure that you change at the right place. But yeah, mostly wind noise. Unfortunately, I don't think the drivers are going to hear the crowd over their helmets and wind noise this weekend, because we've got a decent crowd for this weekend, but not quite Formula 1. But in Formula 1, David Coulthard, Lewis Hamilton, they've all said, you know, Silverstone, when the crowd cheers, you can actually hear it. And one day, who knows, these drivers might experience that too.
You say they won't hear it. It depends how loud cameraman Ben squeals when there's an exciting move out on track, because he has been known to let out a little yelp. We've talked about him enough. Dan Hickey's footage is amazing, and let's hear from the man himself.
So Dan, P10 for you. How is that racing on that Silverstone track?
It was pretty good. It's a good step forward from quali. I think we started P12, P11, I can't remember where we started. Made up a couple of places at the start. So overall, yeah, pretty good, not too bad.
And, you know, what have you learned maybe from this weekend that, you know, obviously we visited Silverstone here already. What has changed in kind of the way you're racing since then?
Well, I think the pace is better. And obviously, I think that was round 2, wasn't it, when we were here. So the extra races, just the racecraft's obviously got better. And yeah, I think I showed that today. Made up a couple of places and then kept a couple of cars behind. So yeah, overall it's pretty decent.
And what's the strategy for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow we start at the same place for the first race, and then we start second for race 3. So race 2 is obviously going to be just 6 or 7 qualifying laps really, and just get my head down and see how far we can get ahead.
And good luck with that. Thank you, Dan. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you haven't checked out Dan Hickey's social media, follow him on Instagram. You can see these amazing angles. We unfortunately won't have them on the broadcast. It's not live, but I'm sure he'll post some stuff from this weekend after the weekend is over. And, you know, looking at the drive, I mean, there's another driver you want to pick out, isn't there, Piers?
Yeah, I think another driver that's worth a mention recently is Callum Baxter. I think he's really taken a step forward for GBR. The whistle goes, so we're going to be going racing soon.
All right, well,
he's really pushed forward, starting 4th in this one, so... Fourth in this one, so he'll be looking to get a podium potentially.
The one to look out for. Piers, thank you very much. It's the second race of the weekend in the GB4 Championship here at Silverstone, so let's go racing.
Race time once more here in the GB4 Championship, partnered by the BRDC, and we've had a change in the Championship League. What a journey it's been to this point, though. Alton Park, Silverstone, Donington Park to open up the season with those 2 rounds before we went to Snetterton after a bit of a break, and of course we return here to Silverstone. We'll be following the GB3 package as well as we head to Donington Park and then to Brands Hatch to round out the season. But as it is in GB3, tight at the top of the standings here in GB4 as well. Things are looking close. It is a battle between Alicia Palmovsky, between Harry Burgoyne Jr., and of course between our championship leader Linus Gramfors, who's returned his way to the top of the standings after a single race away from the top of it. Of course, the circuit we're racing at is Silverstone. It's the Grand Prix circuit we've raced at a few times before in GB4. The iconic Magus, Beckett and Chapel. Of course, that run down into Village and the loop into Brooklands, and of course Luffield out through the final turn onto the start-finish straight. It's a tricky track for a car even of these size. They are quite small, but they do race quite well around here. That said, it was single file racing yesterday as Lucas Blakely was unable to find his way past Linus Granfors. As we'll see, the circuit, it is one that you can race at, though. If you're a little bit brave, you can work your way up if you've had a poor qualifying. And let's just wait and see what's going to happen in this one. I think race 3 this afternoon is going to be absolutely fantastic. And hopefully we go into it after a fantastic race here in race 2 of the weekend. Lewis McGlade, Piers in the commentary booth. I mean, look, it's going to be a tough one to beat Linus Granfors in this.
It is, and we actually heard from Tom Mills on the grid there that Lucas took his newer tyres. Of course, 6 tyres for the whole race weekend for the GB4 drivers. Lucas in second place with the KMR Sport took his new tyres yesterday, so that would have been potentially why he gained a little bit in terms of pace compared to qualifying, potentially meaning that Linus might have a little bit more pace than he had yesterday.
You do mix up the odd Lucas here and there every now and then. I did see that golf, the score sheet you sent me yesterday, and I saw my name was Lucas on it. Thank you.
Lucas McGlade, famous commentator.
Lucas McGlade, thank you. As always, I did lose in golf, it's fine. Already a staller there on the grid, yeah, I believe it will be Hickey from the rear. But will he have to start from the rear because he's dropped down to the rear of the field, or will he be able to retake his grid spot?
Wasn't he already on the... He should really be able to take his grid spot because you're only allowed to not...
Yeah,
he's on the rear of the grid, but even if he had stalled, you are allowed to re-find your grid slot so long as there's no yellow flags. It's basically, you know, on this formation lap, as long as you pass safely under green flag conditions, you're good.
Fair enough then. Well, let's take a look at the starting grid for this race then. Of course, it'll be Linus Granfors once again at the front of the field. He won yesterday. He'll be starting alongside Lucas Blakely, who was trying to attack for that race lead yesterday. And the idea is that maybe Linus Granfors might be running off into the distance for another race victory. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Row 2, of course, we'll see Alicia Palmovsky, who does sit third in the championship alongside Callum Baxter. Had a great race yesterday. Showed some great form, some great speed, and maybe could be challenging for a podium in this one for Graham Brunton Racing. Back to row number 3, and that's where we find Harry Burgoyne Jr., who came into the Silverstone weekend as the championship leader alongside Brandon Templeton, who himself has a victory this season. Jack Taylor will start from 7th position alongside Finn Harrison, who did not seem particularly pleased after the stall on the grid yesterday. He'll be starting from 8th, looking for a solid position. Liam Wilson and Megan Bruce just inside the top 10. The final 2 rows of the grid will see Chloe Grant starting alongside Dan Hickey, who'll be able to return to 12th position. And then, of course, in 13th, it is Ava Dobson, who'll be starting down the order. Of course, we'll have to wait and see whether it is going to be another victory from Linus Granfors, but it's never going to be easy. He's got the pace, he's got the speed, he's got the consistency, but it can all turn in an instant.
Oh, very much it can. We've seen that many times before, both in the GB4 and the GB3 Championship. Championship's hotting up. Harry Burgoyne will be looking to improve from his grid slot, just a couple of rows down from potentially where he would like to be. And he's, of course, one of our championship leaders at the moment, and that's why he's still fighting for the win.
Yeah, Linus Granfors, if you want to know the championship order, at least between the top 3, Linus Granfors is leading the championship on 280 points. It's 269 for Harry Burgoyne Jr., so he's 11 behind. And Alicia Palmovsky is on 256, so 24 behind the champion lead. Well, that does mean if the top 3 in the championship here are separated by comfortably less than a race victory.
Which, with a few DNFs we've seen this season, means that a clean finish to the season is what is necessary to give yourself the best chance of taking the race win. Drivers lining up in their grid slots now. Both Granfors and Palmovsky just being a little bit hesitant, not going too far forward in their grid box. Lucas Blakely, in what might be his last weekend in the GB4 Championship for now, from what we're hearing from Tom Mills, pushing hard, using all the grid space to try and see if he can get one over on Linus Granfors.
He's only got eye on one thing in this race, and that is
the race win.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about championship positions.
Absolutely.
He doesn't care about anything other than going for that race win. We'll see how it all plays out. He'll need a good start to get past Linus Granfors, and it looks like is there space in the grid, or is that Dan Hickey starting one position behind where he should be?
I think it's Dan Hickey starting a row behind where he should be. Either way, the lights will come on, and we'll be getting ready to go racing, of course, here for round 14 of the GB4 Championship, partnered by the BRDC. Is stalling from Ava Dobson in the background as we race our way down towards the first corner. Great start from Lucas Blakely, who heads to the front of the field. Linus Granfors has to settle for second, and we did think that Blakely was going to throw everything at this. He heads to the front then, so brilliant move then from Blakely, who will lead from Linus Granfors. Of course, Alicia Palmovsky a little bit further behind, but still in third position. She's having a great run through Magnus, Beckers and Chapel.
Yeah, also a good start from the second KMR sport car, the blue and grey car in the back of shot. Oh, actually, as we see Brandon Templeton trying to go up the inside of Baxter. Burgoyne is that second grey and black car, and he's got past Callum Baxter, who is that white car just behind him, who is under pressure from Templeton. But we're having Palmovsky actually making a move on Linus Granfors.
Yeah, Alicia Palmovsky making the move to the inside for second position. Alicia Palmovsky will make the move down into Stowe, but Linus Granfors is going to hold firm around the outside. But he had to leave the circuit there to hang on to the position. I wonder if race control might take a look at that. He ran out a little bit wide, did Linus Granfors, just coming through Stowe, as we've seen before with quite a few, but he's held the position. Still side by side between the two of them. Oh, there's contact as well. Alicia Palmovsky has gone out into the gravel trap. Here comes Harry Burgoyne Jr. to work his way through. Linus Granfors then second spot. We've already got drama in this race.
Wow, that was contact that we just didn't quite catch the start of. We saw the end of it. It was going through Club Corner, which is normally fairly easily flat out, but there's only really one line through there. So a slight miscommunication between Palmovsky there has actually meant that they have both come off worse. So yeah, not ideal, but that has put Harry Burgoyne Jr. in a podium position.
And there's front wing damage there on Alicia Palmovsky, so the front left side of her wing does have some damage. It's lost the end plate, and I'm not sure if it's particularly strongly bolted on there. I think it's just loosened from where the nose is.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that, but if she's just lost the end plate, the end plates don't make a huge difference on these GB4 cars, so she should still be able to continue with decent pace. Might pick up a little bit of understeer as Leon Wilson makes his way past Jack Taylor, or he spins off Jack Taylor, but the person who's made the best use of all of this in the first lap has been that man there, Lucas Blakely, who would so wish to take another race win in the GB4 Championship.
Yeah, indeed. I'm sure he'll talk your arm off about how much he wants to win another one, and certainly does lead so. Again, this race will likely be 9 laps all the way around. Of course, it's Blakely leading from Granfors, from Burgoyne, then Templeton, and then, of course, Palmovsky, who's dropped back down into 5th position. Or is she going straight back through, looking to the outside to try and pass Brandon Templeton for 4th position? Templeton's made an absolute mess of that as we look at Chloe Grant back into the pit lane. But where is the move coming in from Palmovsky? Has she got through? Yes, she has.
That's a great move back to the field, especially with the damage. And also, Callum Baxter's trying to follow her through. So Brandon Templeton's going to get boxed in behind Palmovsky. Palmovsky's done well to get through. Side by side we go through Stowe. Can Baxter hold it around the outside? So close between them. Goes wide, runs off the circuit. I don't know whether he'll be able to keep that position or whether that will stand, but we're still fighting into Vale. It looks like Templeton's held off, so the stewards shouldn't need to take any more looks at that.
Indeed, Alicia Palmovsky then 4th position. She's worked her way back up to. Of course, she comes off of 5 consecutive podium finishes. That's a really slow run from Brandon Templeton, who's going to defend on the Hamilton straight, coming down into Abbey as the white car there of Baxter is trying to work his way through. There comes Finn Harrison as we come down into Abbey. Of course, we can see Dan Hickey in the pit lane. We saw Chloe Grant in there earlier on. There was some side-by-side there on circuit that could have been absolutely fantastic. Here we go.
And also, looks like Harrison up the inside of Callum Baxter into the loop, nearly touching again. Such close racing. Harrison has made his way through, but they're still going to be side by side, and Leon Wilson is looking like he's going to pick up a nice slipstream and could get involved in this battle as well.
Yeah, here we go then down towards Brooklands as we've got the side by side. Hopefully nothing's happening in pit lane as we look for the battling, as there is Wilson looking to the outside, gets it alongside Baxter as they head their way down to the corner again. We saw a brilliant battle between those two at Snetterton as that has Finn Harrison through again. Still the side by side working their way past, so Finn Harrison's worked his way up the order and Callum Baxter is dropping right the way back down.
Yeah, Callum Baxter's just got a little bit. Oh, he's got front wing damage. That must have just picked up on the exit of Luffield there, but yes, it looks like he's got front wing damage, and also the I think the left rear tyre of Wilson has just been damaged, so on the exit of Luffield, just out of shot, bit of a contact which has hampered both of those cars. Disappointing because the racing was so close and so good, but a little tap shows you how fine the margins are. But actually, we've got a pressure on Granfers now from Burgoyne.
Yeah, indeed. This will be very big again. It will close down on the champion if Burgoyne is able to work his way past. Lucas Blakely's gone, by the way. He set the fastest lap on the previous one, as there is Wilson, is it?
Yeah, that is Wilson in the Arden car. He's. I said it was a tyre, but it looks like all the tyres are still fully inflated, so maybe it's just an unrelated issue. We'll keep you informed if we find any more out about that, but really disappointing Wilson. He looks like he's stopped in a safe place, though. Yeah, so that really shouldn't require a safety car, because it's on the right-hand side as you come through turn 1 at Copse. As I think they still might feel the requirement to deploy it. Obviously, it'll be under double-waved yellows if they haven't deployed the safety car, as Linus Granfors then for second position at the moment, keeping Harry Burgoyne Jr. at bay. And I will say, Palmovski's closing their way back in. The idea of the streak of podiums continuing could well be on here for Alicia Palmovski, who was 2/10 faster, 3/10 faster rather, in the first sector. Yeah, there is Wilson getting himself out of the car, so he's safe, which is the main thing. But it'd be good to cut back to that battle, which is the championship battle between our 3 championship protagonists. It is Granfors, Burgoyne and Palmovski, which is the order in the championship, and also an overlap on the exit from Burgoyne. Is Granfors going to give him space? Yes, just about, but Granfors now has the inside. Linus is really struggling, I think, for grip off of corners. He's really struggling to get that car going. As here comes Harry Burgoyne Jr. then to the outside as we work our way into Brooklands. There is a look to the inside from the yellow car of Alicia Palmovski. The top 3 in the championship running 2nd, 3rd and 4th. And I'm going to say Linus Granfors is not looking comfortable in this race. No, we actually said that he would have better pace in this one than he had in the first one, but clearly the car or himself just not quite gelled with this race and the track temperatures, and holding Burgoyne up, which is allowing Palmovski into this battle, which is probably going to help Granfors actually in the scheme of things. Yeah. As again, like the fact that Harry Burgoyne Jr. is going to be able, having to fight something else. It's not just about eyes forward, it's eyes behind as well. Alicia Palmovski runs wide then. Brandon Templeton's not necessarily ours, nor is Finn Harrison. We could have a 5-car fight here for second position. The person that's not fighting in this race is Lucas Blakely, who's running 2 seconds a lap faster than this. Yeah, I would suggest there's some sort of issue going on in Granfors' car. There's no way he's lost 2 seconds in pace, race to race. Yesterday they were trading tenths, not seconds. So Granfors, we know, is quick round here previously. Of course, took 2 victories here, didn't he, the first time this season? Yes. Yeah, and I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe just something cropping its ugly head, but at the moment he's doing a great job to drive 2 seconds off the pace and still fend off the rest of the field. But it's going to make an excellent race for us. Yeah, certainly so. So we might have a good one here as Harry Burgoyne Jr. a little bit late on the brakes, coming down to the Vale chicane. Now we go through Club out onto the Hamilton straight, and Harry Burgoyne Jr. is really, really close. It was out of the Village Loop section last time where Linus Granfors was struggling. If there was any straight line speed issues in the car, you would assume that the move would have already happened, as there is the look. It seemed to be in the slow speed, coming out of the slow speed corners. Yeah, not sure what's going on there, but it's certainly holding up as Palmovski looks at the inside of Village, gets alongside, but Burgoyne gives her space. This is still side by side, so Palmovski will try and go all the way around the outside of the loop, which can be done, but you need the driver on the inside to cooperate, and Burgoyne says absolutely not, you're not going around the outside there. That's given Palmovski a poor exit, and Templeton is now going to try and get out the inside, but the battle is not done. Palmovski looking to the inside, Burgoyne having to defend once again. Yeah, indeed. Now down into Brooklands again, the gap has grown a little bit. Brandon Templeton throwing his way into the mix, fills the mirrors of Harry Burgoyne Jr. as the white, blue and red car, orange rather, looking to the inside. Harry Burgoyne Jr. is way out wide. Brandon Templeton's come through into 3rd position, got past Alicia Palmovski, who now finds herself under pressure from her teammate Finn Harrison in the 38. Alicia Palmovski coming straight back through on Brandon Templeton in the 24 as they go side by side going through Woodcote, and it could be 4 wide down into Copse. Let's see what's going to happen here in the battle for 3rd position. Harry Burgoyne Jr., Brandon Templeton going side by side at the front of this. It's Harry Burgoyne Jr. on the inside in that grey and blue car, then Brandon Templeton, and then the 2 elites there of Finn Harrison and Alicia Palmovski. Yeah, Templeton now looking up the inside of Maggots and Beckett's. They're going to go side by side through here as Harrison's got past his teammate of Alicia Palmovski as Palmovski goes wide through Beckett's. So it is still Burgoyne, but now Templeton takes 3rd position. That's probably one of the strongest positions he's had in a race number 2 this season so far. It looks like the headrest is coming up. The headrest on Palmovski's car is coming up ever so slightly, so hopefully that stays in place. But tell you what, who's thinking absolutely brilliant is Linus Granfors, has now got nearly a 2-second gap as now Harrison looks up the inside of Stowe. Can't get the move done. Oh, Templeton with a massive slide through the middle of the corner. Yeah, Alicia Palmovski might pounce on her teammate there, who's slowed down courtesy of that moment from Brandon Templeton. So it's Alicia Palmovski in the 21 trying to get past Finn Harrison. Bit of a lock up there from Templeton, who's going to run out wide here as they head their way through the Vale chicane. And here comes Alicia Palmovski trying to make it 3 wide going through Club. Finn Harrison works his way past in the 38 on
Brandon Templeton, and it will be Alicia Palmowski still remaining in 6th position right now.
Yes, that car, the yellow car, number 38, is Harrison with the white and blue helmet. The black helmet, the second yellow car, is Palmowski, who now looks at the inside once again, but thinks better of it. It's Templeton once again with a big slide. So looks like that left rear tyre on Templeton's car is taking a lot of abuse in this race. Palmowski trying the cutback, gets a straighter exit. That's going to put her alongside through Aintree. Not quite, actually. And Palmowski is going to be kicking herself. She's going to be thinking, my championship rivals are getting away.
Yeah, and I'll update you with the lap times once they cross the time this bike, because you can see here at the bottom of your screen. That's what we were talking about there. There's the look from Palmowski. The gap, it's been about 2 to 2.5 seconds a lap between Lucas Blakely and Linus Granfors. And I kind of wonder what it's going to be this time by when they cross the line. It was a 2 minute 2.1 from Lucas Blakely. This time by for Granfors, it's a 2 minute 3.2, so just 1 second between them.
Yeah, definitely an issue though. Still like a second when he's got better tyres compared to Blakely than he had yesterday. So yeah, we'll hear from Granfors, of course, on the podium if it stays this way. I don't want to jinx it, touch wood. We'll hear from Jonas and Linus there, but Blakely is just thinking, you know what, I've got the lead, I'm just putting the hammer down. His consistent lap times as well, only a couple of tenths between them. With this battle for second, third, hang on, is that sort of flapping around in Templeton's car? Maybe it was just a little tab that holds the headrest in place, but this battle is still going on between, is it 5th and 6th place? Yes, it is, between Templeton, who in the white and orange highlighted Fox Motorsport car, and the 21 that's just pulled out to the inside at Stowe corner.
Yeah, that's Palmowski making the move there. And that was nice and easy for her, straight down the inside, easy on the brakes, and that will be Brandon Templeton back down then into 6th position. Alicia Palmowski's chances of making it a 6th consecutive podium seem to have come to a close.
Still plenty more racing to come in this one, Lewis. We've seen a number of times in this race that things have ebbed and flowed, and you know, all it takes is Burgoyne and Harrison to start fighting, and it could be a 4, maybe even a 5-car battle is in the back of shot. We've got the number 50 of Jack Taylor, who's looking to get involved in this battle as well.
Did a super job on pace. I was going to say he was like looming large in the background there was Taylor, but he is closing his way back in. Maybe he won't be involved in the fight too much, but he was, to be fair, he did a 2:03.9 on the previous lap, and Palmowski did a 2:05.9, courtesy of the battling, of course. But is closing up to this fight, so maybe we could see Jack Taylor working his way through. It certainly has calmed down as we get ready for 3 laps left to go here at Silverstone. Blakely is dominating.
Blakely's dominating at the front of the field. Let's see what lap time he does over this time. The last lap was a 2:02.1. This time over the line, he's done a purple sector 2, so it's going to be just about as fast. 2:01.9. Wow. So yeah, he's lapping very, very quickly and consistently, feeling at 1 with that KMR Sport car. Purple in both sector 2 and sector 4.
Very impressive from Blakely to have again just finding some pace late on. I think he's just enjoying it. And you say he's on the he took the newer tyres yesterday, so he's on an older set of tyres effectively.
I say set, of course, a reminder for
half,
in the GB4 Championship, the drivers get 6 tyres, so they'll put their brand new 4 tyres on for qualifying, and then they have 2 more tyres to use at any point between the 3 races, depending when they think they can get the most use out of them. They'll put them on the left-hand side of the car, with more right-hand corners being a clockwise circuit. Of course, a right-hand corner, load goes on the left-hand side tyres, and it just gives you that extra bit of pace in the middle towards the end of the stint. So, you know, maybe 2 or 3 tenths a lap. But you know, Blakely used it yesterday, didn't quite get the win, but didn't need it today because whatever reason, Granfors doesn't quite have the pace that he showed in yesterday's race. And to be honest, Blakely did well because he got him off the line in the first place.
Yeah. And of course, we'll have to start his way from a little bit further down the order of the race later on this afternoon. So maybe he'll need to find his way to overtakes around here. It does seem as though that car is working brilliantly in this race. And again, it nearly was a KMR Sport 1-2 as Harry Burgoyne Jr. almost found his way past Granfors. Although I will say that gap has grown now to 1.3 seconds. The last couple of laps, though, Harry Burgoyne Jr. has been closing it down by a couple of tenths here and there. But it does seem as though Linus Granfors is going to extend his championship lead at the end of this race.
Yeah, it was when Burgoyne was on the back of Granfors, Burgoyne was pushing hard to try and get through because he knew that if he can get ahead of Granfors, that just closes that gap ever so slightly, and that's what he needs to continue to do. And all the while, Burgoyne hasn't taken a win in the championship. He needs to get as many points as he can, and a weekend. Well, it looked like that Granfors might be dominating this weekend like he did last time out, but in this race, not so much. And if Granfors had dominated, that would have been hard for Burgoyne to have, you know, minimised the points deficit.
does seem as though whatever the issues have been for Linus Granfors, it seems to be mostly sorted, is the way I'd put it. Like, yeah, obviously still running around. It's another fastest lap, by the way, for Lucas Blakely. Don't worry about that.
4/10 faster than that last lap. So Blakely not not relaxing, not saving his tyres, clearly.
Yeah, okay, now I'm going to take that bump back immediately, because Linus Granfors was a second and a half slower than Lucas Blakely. Blakely is not hanging on here. He doesn't care about his tyres for the next race. He could be looking after him right now and preparing for the next race. He doesn't care.
I think he's just thinking, you know what, if I can show a dominant performance in this race, that gives him every opportunity to say to potential sponsors, backers, or investors, look, you know, I've got the skill. I deserve to be at this championship. You know, I've won, or this will be his third on the road, second race win in as many weekends. You know, give me an opportunity, or at least in either this championship or another championship or whatever, because he wants to turn his esports talent and convert it into a real life racing career, and he's doing everything he can on circuit at the moment, that's for sure.
Yes, indeed. They're doing a brilliant job. The 2022 F1 Esports World Champion is the official term for it. Not a Formula 1 sim racing world champion, that's a different thing. But either way, as we'll see the battle for second position, because Harry Burgoyne Jr. has closed his way back up to Granfors, and he's dragging Finn Harrison, who's probably not going to be as disappointed after this race, at least so far, as he was after yesterday's one.
Tell you what, it is good to see Finn Harrison finding a bit of a spring in his step. We've said it so many times, he's been so fast at various points of the season, but just had things not quite go his way, whether it be mistakes from him in the car, mistakes outside of his control, not having a good qualifying, or struggling with the setup, and he's just not quite found the speed that he wanted. And to get this result, I think, will really kickstart him, really get him back in the groove, re-motivate him, and put him in the right headspace to potentially kick on and take some more podiums, and who knows, maybe even race wins towards the end of the season. But for now, just outside the podium positions.
I don't have the stat for largest winning margin in GB4 history.
Why not?
I know, I'm apparently the stats man or something like that. I don't have the stat. I would not be surprised if this was most certainly up there. I cannot recall, we've commentated on basically every race at GB4.
We have?
I cannot recall a race that's been won by 15 seconds.
No, I think we've probably had an 8-second win a couple of times. I think Tom Mills had a couple of fairly dominant victories. But I don't know. I think you might be right. We'll have a look and we'll come back to you for race number 3 and we'll let you know if it is.
Exactly.
You will.
All right, I'll go for the stats. It's fine. I'm pretty sure I've seen a couple of 10-second. I think we've had a couple of 10-second victories. I think Tom Mills had a few last year.
We're on course for a 15-second victory here. I mean, 13.9 over the line, and the current pace we're at. That last lap, Blakely was 1.1 seconds faster than Granfors. So yeah, if assuming Blakely doesn't ease off or Granfors doesn't miraculously find some time, this is going to be a pretty hefty victory. And I think Lucas Blakely's enjoying himself out there.
Oh yeah, he's got just half a lap left to go in this race before he comes across the line to take what is almost certainly one of the most dominant victories that we've ever seen in GB4. And I'd love to see him in the championship for the final couple of rounds. There's only 2 more to go. Come on.
I would honestly, it would be really good. I mean, we had Brandon McCacken in that car at the start of the season, who was right up in the championship fight until, unfortunately, he was no longer able to continue. He's another talent, and then of course replacing him has been Lucas Blakely, who's done so well so far. Been quick as soon as he got in the car. Took 2 wins on the road at Snetterton. Unfortunately, one of them didn't stand due to a start infringement. And then he's on course to take a victory here. But actually, Linus Granfors under pressure on the final sector of the lap from Harry Burgoyne Jr. This is a championship important battle.
Indeed it is. So Lucas Blakely's going to come through the final corner for sure. We've got to keep our eye on this though, because Harry Burgoyne Jr. is going on the attack. Linus Granfors though taking the defensive line, coming down into Brooklands. Lucas Blakely will absolutely dominate here at Silverstone as he takes victory. We'll head back though to the battle between Granfors and Burgoyne Jr. for second position in the race. We'll see Blakely through turn 1, but what's happened in that fight? It's still going to be Granfors as they come across the line, but only just. Granfors leads Burgoyne Jr. and Finn Harrison as well. Palmovsky will take 5th position in what has been a fantastic result, according to our sources. Richard Brandon, we'll go with that. He suggests that this is definitely the biggest margin we've ever had in GB4. I'll take his word for it.
Very impressive for a guest driver in the championship. So Lucas Blakely, take a bow. I'm sure you will on the car in a moment, and we'll hear from him with Jonas very, very shortly. But what a win, Lewis. You know, to come into the championship, he has raced in the Series 4. He did a couple of rounds last year. He's then joined us again, but again, not much racing in between now and then, especially not in this car. To find the pace quickly in testing, get on, you know, win the race 1 at Snetterton, nearly win race 3. Win race 3 at Snetterton without the start infringement, which ultimately didn't really help his race because the race was chaotic enough as it was. And then a very, very close second behind our championship leader, Linus Grampus, yesterday afternoon, and this morning getting away at the start and then pulling a record-breaking margin victory.
I'm still going through the stats book. Wow. I'm just going to say.
Well, provisionally the biggest victory, but I reckon it is. Richard Randall reckons it is the PR officer for the championship in MSV. So, yeah, Lucas Blakely, we hope to see you on the grid again. It would be great to have you back, maybe even for a full campaign. But if not, then you've absolutely staked your claim as a very, very fast single-seater driver.
Honestly, unbelievable performance. Whether it is the most dominant or not, I don't care. The fact that you're winning by 15 seconds on what is a strong field, very, very impressive there from Lucas Blakely. Going to give a shout out to one other driver as well. Eva Dobson, 9th place. She did say her goal coming into this weekend was not finishing last.
And she didn't.
And she did not finish last. That is for sure. Beat quite a few drivers here. Chloe Grant, Baxter, Hickey, and of course Wilson, who retired from the race. That is a brilliant effort. But there's Linus Granfors. Do you reckon he's going to be disappointed after that? I'm very curious what he's going to say.
I don't think he'll actually be disappointed. I think he'll think, something's not quite right. The pace wasn't there. But Blakely is not a threat in the championship.
Exactly.
He's effectively extended his championship lead in that race, so therefore he'll probably be like, would like to win the race. However, his ultimate goal is win this championship and do one better than his brother Joel did in GB3 a couple of years ago. But all the attention is going to be on this man in the short term.
Shots fired to the old Grand Force there for not winning the town. That's fine. No, it's
close though, isn't it?
Each their own, mate. That's fine. Of course, Lucas Blakely will climb out of the car, victorious again. Did see obviously Jimmy Broadbent was celebrating the victory with him last round. He has told he messaged in the GB3 chat saying that he's watching from his sim rig. I'll put it that way.
Yes.
And I'm sure he'll be watching this one to support Lucas Blakely, as well a lot of sim races. That's a superb performance. That's Tom Mills.
Yeah, that was an absolute mic drop celebration there from Lucas Blakely. Hugs all around, and rightly so. What an absolutely outstanding drive from Lucas Blakely. I wonder, we saw tears at Snetterton, rightly so. Will we see tears today? I don't know, but he's worked so hard to get on the grid. He's pushed so hard to get these seats, and he's really showing his skills.
One thing I know is I'm not going to struggle to be able to do the standings whilst the interviews are going on. I am not going to be pressed for time because obviously we'll catch up with Lucas Blakely in a moment, and rightfully so, he's going to have his word. And after what has been a fantastic performance and a fantastic drive, like I say, dominated the field. To win by 15 seconds is impressive regardless where you do it. But again, especially when you've jumped into the championship challenges, that's just very impressive. We'll head down to John's though to catch up with our podium.
Thank you very much, Lewis. We saw him celebrating with his parents now. I'm going to try and grab a word with his parents. No tears yet, but I reckon I can get him crying within about 15 seconds of speaking to him. Let's let him get his photos first, because he'll be plastering these all over his social media. To be honest, he just looks pumped. He doesn't actually look as emotional as we've seen him before, because he's getting used to winning. Because he's been very successful so far, and it does seem a shame, as you say, Lewis, to not have Lucas on the grid going forward here. So I'm going to jump in now. Congratulations, that is actually the biggest winning margin. Do you know how far the margin was?
No.
It was just under 15.5 seconds.
Man, I'm speechless again, firstly. Wow, what a race. Huge thanks to KMR. That car was a dream to drive. Man, I'm speechless. And to win here at Silverstone on the full layout, in front of my mum and dad as well, who have supported me from the right first moment that I ever stepped foot in a go-kart. It's such a special. I'm going to try and remember this, really savour this moment.
Do you remember what you said to me ahead of the weekend, what your target was after winning your first race last time?
I do very much, yeah, and it was to win here. I knew that, coming into the weekend, it would probably be a bigger challenge. Linus's pace all the way through testing was really strong, and I knew that a big opportunity was going to be the start. Finally got on top of it, got an amazing start. And then, I just saw lots of battling in my mirrors on lap 1 as well, and then the gap kept opening up more and more, and it was one of the most surreal experiences I had coming into the last lap. I'm like, you just know what's coming. So
we've noticed that when you do get the lead, you tend to pull out quite a big gap. Do you know why that is? Any inkling?
Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, I just keep my head down, eyes forward. I don't get complacent. I work hard. And yeah, I'm just very, very grateful for this result. Thanks to the team, and yeah, massive support, massive thanks to my mum and dad, because I've thanked them before, you know, in interviews after the race, but to actually have them here and to share this emotion, you know, these are the ones that these are the, you know, the two people that have sacrificed the most for me. So to get in a few moments' time stand in that top step of the podium in front of them is going to be one of the best moments of my life.
Well, look, soak it all in. One thing that Lewis has been saying a lot on commentary is that it's a real shame, the prospect of you not being in this championship after this round. If there's any sponsors watching, I mean, you've just won by the biggest margin in GB4 history. I mean, you know, you're a lovely guy, you're a great driver. What more do they need to do than to get involved?
Look, I'm just grateful for every time I get on the track. I knew coming into this weekend that, you know, there's every chance this is the last time I race this year. So I just wanted to go out there, leave it all out on the track, you know, prove to myself, and just that's why I guess I did the mic drop. I was like, if my career ends now, I've shown what I can do. So
Excellent stuff. We'll let you go and get your trophy, and as I say, soak it all in.
Thank you.
Lucas Blakely with KMR Sport there celebrating, and I said I get him crying, and I didn't. I failed. Sorry about that. We'll have to rush this very quickly. But Linus, a tricky race for you there. It was a kind of good battle at the start there. But did you have some issues with the car at all, or were you just not able to get the grip? What was holding you back? Because we've seen great pace from you this weekend.
Yeah, well, in the first lap when I think it was me and Palmovsky when we hit in the straight, and then something broke in the rear, so I was just sliding around, and then when it started to find behind me, then I got a bit of a gap. But then in the last lap, he started to catch up again, so it was just, yeah.
Well, you did very well considering. We've got the reverse grid race coming up a little bit later on. More points for you on the way?
What? Yeah.
More points later in the reverse grid race?
Yeah, definitely. I think, yeah, it's a good track to overtake, so I think we can see some good overtakes in the reverse grid.
Excellent stuff. Congratulations. Linus Grandforce there with Fortec coming second. I'm looking for Harry Burgoyne Jr. Where is Harry Burgoyne Jr.? Where is Harry Burgoyne Jr.? Am I being blind? Can we see Harry? There he is, standing behind John Cavill. John Cavill, the man here, what a guy. Harry, good to get back on the podium and get some success here this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice getting a podium there. We really needed it for the points, but yeah, it was a action-packed race that.
Now, you go into the reverse grid race a little bit later on. You've got a bit of confidence from getting on this podium. Are we gonna see some good points from that race as well?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really confident. We were really fast at Snarton in the reverse grid race, so I mean, we could probably do the same here, so really looking forward to it.
And obviously Lucas Blakely, you know, your teammate, doing so well there, winning by so far. I mean, that must be great for the team morale.
Yeah, I mean, great for the team in the championship as well. It's like I think we're quite a lot ahead now, so really good. Well done to him as well. He drove an amazing race. He's drove amazing since he jumped in the car this year.
Excellent stuff. We'll let you go and get your trophy. Harry Burgoyne Jr. there with KMR Sport. Teammates, of course, with race winner Lucas Blakely, who's going to get his trophy very, very soon. Actually above me on the podium. Lewis, over to you.
Cheers, Thomas. And yes, indeed, you join us on the podium here, where we'll see them all climb their way up there again. I will say, by the way, I've done a standing. We'll update you with that in a moment. But Lucas Blakely is now in the top 10 of the championship because of that victory, which is always impressive. Just to see a driver who's done just 2 rounds in the championship, and he finds his way into the top 10 in just that short time. Very, very impressive from Lucas Blakely. And again, yes, we said it before, we'll say it again, most dominant victory in GB4. Great to see, of course, Harry Burgoyne Jr. back onto the podium. It does help in the championship fight. We did see him on the podium a couple of times in Snetterton. Obviously, we saw him on the podium in Donington, and we saw him on the podium in all 3 races at Alton Park. We did not see him on the podium at Silverstone the last time we came here. So, obviously, he did race last year as well. It's the first time that we've seen him onto a podium here at the home of British Motorsports. That's pretty standard for Harry Burgoyne Jr., who keeps at least a streak of top 4s. It does mean that Alicia Palmovsky's streak of podiums has most certainly come to a close, so that'll finish at just 5, but it does mean that for the championship standings, things have gone in favour of Linus Grandforce. Just to pull out a little bit more of a margin. It was a tough race for him, though, to hang on to second position, as he was able just about to cling on to second by beating Harry Burgoyne Jr. to the podium. He'll be climbing out onto it and onto the final step of the podium. It's Harry Burgoyne Jr. for KMR Sport. As he was alluding to down below the podium, below the steps with John Jackson, that it will be good for KMR Sport. They'll be pulling out into the Teams Championship very comfortably in the Teams Championship lead. As there is Harry Burgoyne Jr. who'll take to the final step on the podium. When will we see him take to the top step? We've got just 7 races left to go to see that happen. Linus Granfors, who's first time on the podium, not taking to the top step this season. Of course, that's his 6th time on the podium, but the other 5 were victories. And then Lucas Blakely, here he is then, onto the top step of the podium. It means that he's finished, at least, on the podium. He's come across the line in the podium position. And every race that he's done so far this year in GB4, of course, he had the 3rd race taken away from him in race 3 at Snetterton, but still it was a 5th place, as Jonathan Palmer will be the one to hand out the trophies this time by the Chief Executive Officer, of course, of MSV, as he'll be handing out those trophies. Of course, first to Harry Burgoyne Jr., then to Linus Granfors, and then to Lucas Blakely as well. And if this is the last race weekend that we see Lucas Blakely, who was saying about, maybe this is the last one that he'll ever do in motorsport, maybe the last one of the year, we'll have to wait and see. What a way to do it, to take another victory and show exactly what he's about. Again, if you're there are sponsors that are sat out there watching, thinking who to go for next, Lucas Blakely's definitely one showing exactly what it's all about. With a victory like that, again, I feel there might have been some pace problems, maybe a little bit for Linus Granfors, but alas, Lucas Blakely took full advantage of it, winning the race provisionally by 15 seconds. Linus Granfors then in 2nd, with Harry Burgoyne Jr. finishing just a 10.5 behind in 3rd. Finn Harrison in 4th position, then of course with Alicia Palmovsky in 5th. Brandon Templeton in 6th, with Jack Taylor in 7th. And of course, Megan Bruce, Ava Dobson up to 9th. She said her goal for the weekend was to not finish last, and she definitely didn't. Ahead of Chloe Grant there inside the top 10. The final 3 positions being Baxter and Hickey, of course, finishing a little bit further down. And then unfortunately the retirement for Wilson, which was coming through turn 1. Big shame for Wilson at the end of that. Provisional standings, of course, in the championship will see the lead being held by Linus Granfors as expected after he retook it. He's now in the lead by 16 points on 309, 293 for Harry Burgoyne Jr. Alicia Palmovsky then 34 off the championship lead, just about within a race victory. Brandon Templeton then in 4th position, then Callum Baxter, Brandon McCacken, Finn Harrison in 7th spot, and probably aiming to take over the 6th position from Brandon McCacken this weekend, of course, is not racing. And then Lucas Blakely, who's managed to work his way inside the top 10 of the championship, 8th position he runs after that fantastic victory. Jack Taylor and Chloe Grant will round out the top 10, but very impressive that Blakely's been able to do that, considering he's only done 2 race weekends in 2024. What can we see from him though in race 3? Because of course later on we've got the reverse grid race to talk about, where we'll be taking the qualifying order, reversing the whole thing basically, and sending the drama up to 11. Either way, we'll head down to Piers Pryor, who's in pit lane, catching up with a couple of our drivers.
Yep, down here getting some reaction from some of the drivers. We've got Brandon Templeton, who is embroiled in that battle for 2nd down to about 7th place. Brandon, just talk to us about that from your perspective.
It was a really fun race, to be honest. The lap 1 was hectic. I think I picked up a bit of damage to my left rear because I was just sliding about all over the place. But no, I got involved and it was good fun actually.
Fighting for a podium at one point. I think you actually got up into like 3rd or 4th place, and then it all shuffled about again. But must be encouraging that you can fight right up there now.
Yeah, it's happy to know that I could have been there. A few mistakes from my behalf of not positioning my car, but we'll go back and we'll review the footage and take it moving forward onto race 3.
All part of the learning process, I'm assuming, and we caught up briefly with Liam, who of course raced for Fox last year and jumped in at one point this year as well. He's helping you with that sort of thing as well?
Yeah, Liam obviously has a lot of experience, so he's helping me this weekend and giving me advice, so yeah, it's really helpful having him here.
And what about the reverse grid coming up? What can you do from what is a slightly higher grid position?
Well, I'm sure it'll be exciting as always, but just got to be patient, I think, because that's what usually works around here. So just patient, keep my nose clean, and yeah, see what we can do.
See what you can do. Brandon, we'll let you go and cool off and get some lunch for the last race of the weekend. I'm going to grab Finn Harrison. Finn, come on this side, please. Finn, Naomi caught up with you yesterday, and you were looking a bit dejected, a bit down. It's good to see a smile back on your face.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, we're struggling with the balance. We're getting there. We're sort of every race, we're getting there. I think by race 3 we'll have it ironed out. It's a shame it can't be there for qualifying, but we know what we need to focus on for the next round with the differences between the two cars.
Yeah, pace definitely looked good in that one compared to where you've been at different points this weekend. Is it more just confidence in the car? Is it out and out pace? Where does it come from?
I'd say it's sort of outright pace. The more we're getting with the car and the more we're understanding it, the more it's able and driver friendly, and I'm able to make the moves with it and be able to be with the front lot.
And you made a move through the field, you know, making quite a few positions, some great moves out there. That surely puts you in a good position for race number 3.
Yeah, we've definitely got a good strategy for race 3. We know what we can improve from this race. We've had valuable data from what we need to improve for going for race 3. I think we start 4th or 5th-ish. I haven't seen the grids yet, but it's definitely going to be really good to do race 3.
Brilliant. Well, Finn, we'll let you go and call off with the team and get that race 3 preparation done. Thanks very much for taking the time to chat to us. And why don't we grab a word with Mr. Blakely. Come on this side for me so I can hear what you're saying. Just remind everyone at home, we saw you hugging Lucas. You are a relation.
Yes, I'm his old man, his dad.
What's your name, sorry?
I'm John.
John Blakely. John, it must be so good to see your son come into the championship and pretty much from the word go at Snetterton, be quick and then do the same here.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, he's always had the goal. He always wanted to win in GB4. He done it at Snetterton, and then he was like, right, Silverstone, I've got to win at Silverstone. And he's like, can you be there? And like, we'll be there. And to see him win at Silverstone, you know, that's just a dream come true for him, you know.
You must be proud.
Oh, beyond proud. To be honest, he sacrificed loads for this. I mean, I'm talking, I mean, you can get where Lucas gets it for, by the way, but he sacrificed everything for this, and he totally deserves it. Just needs a break, so you know.
What a boy, what a boy.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And the grid's amazing. KMR Sport, what can you say?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. They've given him the tools to do it. The harmony in the team with Harry and everything, it's great. It's a great atmosphere, and that helps when they go out in the track and they race. It's amazing. So, how can you ask for any more?
It must be amazing to see him, you know, work so hard in the sim, do all the stuff behind the scenes. You've been there for him as well, and then to come and race and really put himself out there. Is there anything that you could say, you know, that he might want to watch back later?
Well, just we're mega proud of you. You know, we don't need to say any more about that. And to see him come for the karting world, to the sim world, to Formula 4, to GB4, to winning at Snet. Sim racing isn't just a game. You put your heart and soul into it. Lucas is proof that sim racers can do it. So go for it. Find money. Go racing. You can do it. He's proved it. Go for it.
Proved it in emphatic style, the biggest victory we've ever seen in GB4 race.
I only got a message. I got a message from one of his buddies and said that was the biggest margin in GB, and I'm going, no way. So, I don't know if he knows that. I don't know if he told him in an interview or not, but what can you say?
Amazing. Right, we'll let you go and celebrate. There he is. Go on, let's get a bit of emotion. We've just been chatting to your dad, Lucas. Amazing day for you.
Yeah, I thought I'd photobomb you as well, but yeah, it just means everything to do it in front of, you know, those who have gave the most to me. So.
No, yeah. We're a pair of bubblers when it comes to racing. We don't show emotion, but when winning and racing comes...
Hold on, don't show emotion.
Same when you're racing.
Anyway, guys, we'll let you celebrate. Thanks so much for chatting to us. We'll grab John has come back in. Great to see the family connection there.
Yeah, we've got Mum over there, but she's eluding us. She doesn't want any part of it. She's got the trophy in hand there. You can actually pan round, Ben. You can see them celebrating there as a family, over the moon. Mum won't stop smiling, and
rightly so.
Having a great time there as we watch Lucas walk off with his trophy and his bottle of, I think it's Prosecco. Let's have a look. Is that real Prosecco, Lucas? Let's have a look.
It is?
Yeah, it's the real deal. No, just wondering.
After the race, Lucas. After the race.
Not now, mate.
Not yet.
Not now. I think Mum's got her eyes on that.
Yeah.
So we're having a look there. Also, John Blakely there's got a serious watch. Did you see the size of his watch?
No, I didn't actually.
The size of a small plate on there. We're going to actually hear from Omologato's main man a little bit later, actually, one of the sponsors of the championship, about how they're awarding some of the young drivers.
The One to Watch Award.
The One to Watch Award. See what they did there? It's like a Lewis McGlade joke, that one. But they're awarding these watches, and it says on it, not for sale, because they're legitimately not for sale. They're being awarded the
to
driver's
driver.
doing really well, which I like. Anyway, we've digressed onto watch chat, but yeah, if we see John Blakely on the stream again, have a look at his watch. It's
You love timepieces.
So the size of his, yeah, I do. It's the size of his hand, but on his arm. Anyway, another really exciting race there,
Yes.
Piers. It was a little bit crazy at times there,
Yeah.
and I mean, the reverse grid race is going to be wild later on.
Oh, if there's anything like that one, then we've got in for a treat. It was quite an interesting race actually, because we had Blakely get away at the start, and then Granfus was pressuring. Parmasi got involved, the touch between them, which caused Granfus the slight damage which you just heard about on his rear suspension, which is why he lost a bit of pace. And then of course the fight continued on. Looking forward to a reverse grid race.
It's going to be really interesting to see. Obviously, the reverse grid race means that, well, I mean, it's self-explanatory, isn't it? We've talked about this quite a lot, the reverse grid race.
Don't need to
Do we
over-explain
know
it.
who's on pole position? I don't know
Off
if
the
that's
top of
been
my head,
said.
I can't remember because it depends on 103% rule in terms of qualifying time.
Well, there we go. Well, look, you can check out all the results and pictures on the social media for GB4. We'll be back at 4:45. GB3 is coming up next, though. We're going to have the last race of the weekend at 2:45. See you then.